commission actually advises the legislature and the executive branch on policies that can help shape the future of women in the economy and in the higher education realm.
I loved school. I always loved being there, and I always loved being in the classes, and it wasn't until I became pregnant with my first daughter that I felt like I didn't belong anymore.
It is painful for me to hear young women say, you know, I felt that once I started going to college and I decided to start to have a family, that this wasn't a place for me anymore. That just breaks my heart.
So the biggest challenge about this is trying to figure out the balance between both. Being a mom requires a lot of attention, and going to school requires a lot of time, and a lot of times the balance between being in school and watching kids and taking them to daycare and not feeling like you're abandoning them or that you should feel guilty about asking somebody to watch your kids while you're in school is something that's really hard, and that if there were things in place that would make it easier, I believe that more women wouldn't feel like they have to sacrifice who they are to be moms.
Some of the research that Dr. Susan Madsen did found that there were some qualitative things that were associated with whether or not a woman would finish a bachelor's degree. One thing I remember was that if they visited a college campus, they'd be more likely to finish a bachelor's degree. Or if they had somebody express faith, if they had somebody encourage them saying that they believed that they could finish a bachelor's degree, that they were more likely to finish a bachelor's degree.
Without the support of my husband and believing that this was something that I could do, I wouldn't be here. Another thing that has been really critical in encouraging me to start a master's program and keep going is interacting with professors and other professionals who have told me that I could do something like this.
This report has a few recommendations, which I think at the end of this commission meeting we're going to talk about and figure out what our next steps are, which are figure out ways to provide more support for parents who are attaining higher education.
I loved to see the progress that we've made, especially in the last few years, in women's educational attainment and their bachelor's degree completion.
Us as legislators, understanding that a bit more effectively, so that we can look to policy remedies, as well as administrative remedies. I think what we heard today is that things as simple as how we do scheduling.
What we can do is we can take this report, we can do further studies, we can dig in deeper to understand why the barriers are what they are that women face, and then come up with pathways and solutions and make recommendations to the lawmakers in our state and to our governor and his staff so that they can help create those pathways and make them smoother for women. There's a misnomer out there that women think that the lower paying jobs are the more flexible jobs, and what they need to understand is the higher level of education you attain, the more flexible your employment actually will be, and more supported you will be in being a mom and a wife, and also being a member of the workforce. The more information we can get out to women about that, I think the more we can influence them moving further ahead in their education, overcoming their barriers so they can significantly more impact the economy and their families and the community as a whole.
Moms can do great things, and it doesn't just have to be at home.